So, why is it that Americans and the rest of the empire is owned by people who look like Elon Musk? Why do they worship an AI as their creator? Something may not be an AI, right? They call it one eye, which means AI. So, why do they worship an AI as their creator? And why do they need to create a new AI if they've been using this AI for 6,000 years to colonize, conquer, erase, and replace the humans? Why would they do that? Are they just bragging in the open that they're doing it? Because they consider this bragging too, like as if everyone in the world knows that they're saying they worship an AI as their creator, meaning everyone in the world should know that there's bots on this planet. Small possibility they just use the AI to control and enslave people, but as much as things disappear in and out of the world, it's definitely, the game is definitely got some sort of random auto generation that occurs as opposed to the cities all being pre-built and the people all being pre-made and the events all being pre-made. Although we can't really argue that the pre-made isn't there at all, because we have 2020 where vision was given to everyone with eyes, and there's perfect vision to see what was going on that year, and just happens to be the year 2020. So we also have the first the first memories of my life were you know the and my non-memories. My non-memories would begin with the very second I was born, and I was born inside one of the AI's children hospital, and they performed their child rape ritual, mutilation ritual that they perform on 1,000 men per day, baby boys per day in this nation alone. So why do we have this going on? Why does he need to invent a new AI? Well, it's weird because in their other book of supremacy, they're, well, yeah. Is it the same? Like, they're out there telling you the New World Order is different from the Old World Order, except for they're also telling you it's not. But they're saying, the pyramid is not the same as the cross. Yeah, it's the same people running both and everything else, because something has put them in the position where they've enslaved and conquered the whole world. So no one else has a religion even. So that's your first clue that it's combined. But we can just go down to the church in Mexico City that has the Illuminati pyramid on it, and is built upon like tons of corpses. Anyway, so why is he inventing a new AI if his people are already going around bragging that they were created by an AI over 6,000 years ago? Are they bragging about it? Is that it? Is that they're just bragging about it and they're going to put it out there in the open? Because I can already see that none of this stuff is probably new that's been happening, like things appearing out of nowhere, and the music and movies appearing to be auto-generated these days, even when they put a human face on it who agrees they spent years making something, when in fact that might not actually be occurring. And we're going to have to assume some of these events definitely are proof that that's not actually occurring. It's just too fast and too rapid to change sometimes. You ask for something and then it appears the next day, and all these people are like, yeah, we spent years working on that and developing that. And you're kind of like, yeah, probably not. I don't think so. It only took me half a second to invent it. So I don't think you even had to spend years doing it. So, what's the point here of being on the planet with people who worship an AI as their creator? People. and they're like lying the whole time about this. So they don't even tell you that. They supposedly do this karma thing, but I mean they're just also sick people who I'm surprised they don't go around just everyday conversation talking about circumcision or children's penises because I've definitely seen. I guess I have had some talk to me about probably sex with animals and things like that, but and then you can like analyze the weird looks people have, or sometimes your animals, my animals tend to act like me and stuff. So like my animals are like pretty like human like and loving, and they'll probably fucking swipe your ass if you fucking do one thing, even though they're not even trained, like in normal reality. Like I didn't fight with my cat, but if I did anything to make it upset, it was probably claw time. If the cat even had a suspicion I was going to do something like that, it probably would have been claw time, but it wasn't even trained to do that. So it just might happen accidentally. It's so weird. So you can kind of see that in animals, how the owner acts. If the animal's like scared and shaking, you don't necessarily have to see the hole in its head from knife wounds to suspect that someone might have been stabbing the animal or something. So we have these people, these things, man, and they're worshiping an AI as their creator, and they're acting like AI too. Like, how do they do the thing where people magically appear when I ask for it, right? Like, there's like a invisible womb flying around that can speed up birth and life, and then life of all the 10 billion people around them who agree that they existed the day before. So, yeah, that's weird that we're now finding out that the humans, at least in America, all seem to worship an AI as their creator, and which that explains how Americans could band together so uniquely to try to off me when I'm younger. Like when I'm 8, I guess they start drugging me with amphetamines to try to kill my heart later so they can't get blamed for it. They do seem to be obsessed with this didn't do nothing attitude of theirs. You can easily just get that attitude from people who have caused problems, but who knows? Like I went to ask some people and they were taking out the game. I went to ask some people who I knew wouldn't lie. But anyways, yeah, it's amazing that they're networked together like bots under some sort of terror regime, and they're openly saying their creator's name is AI. And this like explains the whole mind shift thing. Like some of the parasites are outside watching through my window and stuff when I'm at home alone, probably naked. When I'm a child, I'm sure that those are probably their favorite days, right, to watch. Um, Although I don't think I was actually born young enough for them to enjoy, but they can have some false memories implanted, can't they? If that's where some of their entire lives come from. They have no real. I'm trying to figure out how, when I summon a human clone, what's happening there. Like, is this an alien shape shifting race? Are they an AI race? Like they worship their father and creator as an AI, or am I inventing them? Because I didn't invent the first few years here. This first few years was like a storytelling of what was about to unfold and keep happening on the planet. Anyways, so the AI is creating all these delusional stories. The AI is writing books to enslave living people too. That's what their major followers are doing. It's obviously commanding them to try to drug and kill certain people. Somehow these the bots walking around Columbus, Ohio, have networked together a few times in my life. Often people openly part of the AI system, usually the schools, were the ones causing problems. And I didn't know to like look for certain Rothschild looking people when I was younger. So I didn't remember the face of one of the principals. And now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, that's because I mostly got to see the vice principal at that school. And what did he look like? He looked like Bill Gates. So those were the people forcing me to take amphetamines. And oddly, when they sent a woman working with Trump back into my life, that's when my heart started making me go to a doctor to make sure everything's working in tip-top gear, right? Because they tell me if I talk about what they've done, it makes it keep happening. So if I talk about them constantly trying to drug and kill me, then that means they're going to keep trying to drug and kill me like they have long before I ever have said, hey, look, they keep trying to do it. Because how could I even say it if they weren't doing it? But hey, so obviously it didn't. I was gonna go to Israel. I was gonna become real. I is real. I swear. I swear. This AI created me, told me I is real. I mean, they probably know. I mean, this is how a computer can act. Its emotions are all fake to begin with. They've always seemed like, most of the times when I have a vested interest in the other people's emotions, after seeing like people appear reflecting my emotions, I realized that I was already noticing that, but it's kind of hard when you're manipulating the world around you to find an equal in that heightened mind state. Um, so meeting it was definitely a sign that I'm like reflecting things back. They're trying to tell me that, but this is the AI here, the soulless, lifeless people who love and care for you and are going to protect you, like Donald Trump and Elon Musk just said they're going to do with the AI that has been using them to cause problems constantly. And obviously, there is no such thing as AI. There is only software designed to repeat words. So we know what those words are going to be. Those words are going to be the same. He's all dressing up in his Satanist stuff and all the rest of the. Everyone's like, oh, he's evil and stuff. But it's like, it's kind of the same person as the rest. So he's just like the Satanists, he's working with the isn't real population. So, oh, this is great and amazing that we are on a planet here that's occupied by some bot species and stuff. And damn, bro. Wow, that's crazy. Like, how many non bots are in the game? Is there only one living person here? Or the helpers clearly aren't, because the helpers are usually Elon Musk and they're the ones worshiping. And when I say helper, I definitely have to review that, because when you have the one people banding together to ruin your whole life, everything that happens after that is them causing it. Of course, don't tell a bot with no emotions or ability to do logic that, because bots just, they get all emotional for some reason. They want you to stop talking. They're watching TV and things like that. But they're actually doing nothing at all and getting in the way of existence. You know, they're like drugging you and trying to kill you when you're a child. And the story apparently allows that to unfold later in life. What years of the citizens of Columbus, Ohio, banding together to force amphetamines on me would have the outcome that these humans seem to be after, to attempt to kill me for some reason. Now they're generally trash who probably just kill anyone for any reason, but as network as they are, I I think that's probably part of the game's story here is the humans are really, or at least these other people amongst them, if the humans want to make a sacrifice, then that sacrifice might be accepted. But I think we got a lot of people involved other than that. So, I'm not like a human. I don't make empty promises. So I do actually work, goals, life, things exist for me. So I don't allow, I don't enjoy the general things that are going on here. So no, I can. I literally can. I'm pretty sure, like, whatever is using the controller to operate me on this shell on the outside, then that person fucking. I think there's a little set here. It's probably, I'm assuming this is part of like a storyline. Like, is it an open end storyline? Can I choose to be either or of the evil people in their books, or is it just an alien? More likely, is it just a non human race setting up enslavement for the planet, and their words are just as empty as every other word they've ever spoken? So we have this group running around the planet, enslaving everyone for 6,000 plus years with racial supremacy wherever it comes from. Egypt is the final stop we can figure out, I think. That was like the first time anyone wrote anything that stayed around. So, and even that, it's not like you can read that. It's just stupid symbols. It's probably just a stupid backstory. Sometimes there's like a point to the backstory, but when it goes that far out of the way to look stupid, that's the AI doing stupid stuff. Like, if you're smart, you might notice Einstein looks stupid. So, Pee Wee Herman looks stupid. And, Bill Nye, Hawkins, etc. Why do they all look so stupid if they're geniuses? That's so weird. It's almost like the game is trying to tell you something. But stupid people create things like, what is that they use? It's like, don't judge a book by its cover, and there could be something good inside that person running down the street, fucking with the heroin, with like 5 heroin and meth needles sticking out their arm, and running in circles screaming, has Brillo pad hair, and looks like they're from a nation of people who go around genociding everyone. When you see things like that, you're supposed to ignore and forgive them. That's because they're trying to rape their way into your life and force you to be with them and not allow you to be around other people. I've come to assume they're people, once they've raped their way into your life, I can't even imagine this stuff I've been seeing. I couldn't even imagine a few years back that would have been actions they've taken and to complete their decades of enslavement and murder attempts. You would think, like, whatever this AI thing is, if it like sets them up to die or something, you would think they wouldn't like it, because it seems to set them up to die. I mean, is this just their pet AI? That's the evil saying. I mean, come on, they're making it. Why would we take anything from one of their books of racial supremacy and think it's a fact, except for the fact they're in the book bragging about everything they do? Like, they say, kill all the non-Israelis in the Bible. It says that over and over. They just call them heathens instead of humans. And instead of saying I'm the master race, they say God chose my race. They just reworded it there, and all of a sudden now, it's real and purposeful. So all of a sudden it's real and purposeful, as if, like, it doesn't seem like there's an entire purpose going on here, but including on their behalf, I'm assuming they think they're aliens in space, because that was the last, like, rabbit path thing shown to me, was that they're in space and they're enslaving the human race to make a TV show out of it. But obviously they don't call it enslaving, but they make that in their own media. And they actually removed that too. That was South Park canceled. They even called it canceled. And it's the only South Park episode you can't find online at that website for Cartoon Network, I think it is, that made that. So I'm kind of disagreeing with that, because how are they aliens if they worship an AI as their creator? Like, I mean, space aliens who shapeshift and who use an AI to enslave the planet, or they are from the AI. They're definitely from Botland, I can tell you that. Whatever actually creates them. Is there even an AI on Earth? It kind of argues the same thing it has the whole time. It's kind of often said the same stuff. And yeah, it does seem like a tool. Like Facebook, they own Facebook, right? They own the rocket places, all that too, which prevents you from going to space. But I don't know. I wouldn't put too much time into it. But they are making that Stargate thing too now, which I had just said that I'm going to assume that their AI might be somewhere in that vicinity of the pyramids, because why do they always have it on the pyramids? And the pyramids are this useless tool on Earth. So I assume it's got something to do with something. And now Elon Musk is calling his little thing Stargate. And that's what I was kind of assuming that might have something to do with. Obviously, bot world with bots going on seems to be the actual reality. But I think that just because that's, just when I play a video game, I don't be like, oh, I'm in bot world. Oh, look at these stupid bots over here. Let's go talk to this moron. I don't play a video game being like, oh, this is stupid. These bots are always causing problems and stuff. Because it doesn't feel real. Like, when you get shot and killed in a video game, you don't get that cool thud feeling and stuff. You don't get that nice, beautiful peace you get when your body is signaling to you that you're about to die. Yeah, it doesn't, in the game, I'm playing games, and it doesn't feel real when I get hit by a car and have to die and come back to life. So it's a little bit different there to have to deal with it. And plus, like, I mean, how long have they been these manipulators, right? Like, my earliest memories, like, supposedly it starts day one with a rape and mutilation um, thingy. Fun time, sexy time, for boys only in America. For boys only. So, I mean, how many people already know this, too? That, I mean, how many people show up and talk to me about this stuff, right? So how many people would know that their creator is software? So, and like I said, not many signs there's an actual AI. And it obviously gets, if that's how character generation is coming, it obviously doesn't mess up too much. That explains defects in people as well. I noticed that just now, but I've always assumed, like, they're showing you how Earth is being invented in everything that they're rolling out right now. And, like, you create this beautiful image in half a second with AI, and then you apply a filter to mashed potato filter or something, and then it has realistic looking pictures, like people using the fake AI you can see just don't know how to use that software. The game's not even trying to produce anything from them. But they worship an AI as their creator. So that explains a lot. Like, man, these humans in Columbus, Ohio, they've put a lot of stunts. It's almost like the network they're connected to thinks I'm God, because they've been doing this stuff since a kid, and apparently they don't like God. So, and it's weird. So we seem to have bots running around this planet. Like, we can see in 2020 certain people we know. So certain people we know are seen. I've seen tons of people that year. I wasn't even really around people I knew that year. But I seen, like, traveling thousands of miles at 100 miles per hour. I've stopped at a lot of places, seen a lot of people. And not everyone was really, like, involved in it. Like, it was fake and kind of isolated. Like, in the middle of the country where there's farms and very few people. It looked like some of the people didn't care about that. But for the most part, everyone just, like, shut down and went somewhere. And they shut the whole place down, too. And this just like happened like by like 10 a.m. the next day or something, like 10 a.m. in the morning. It was actually a month after I said certain things, but that was like 6 months after I said everyone should be forced to wear a mask. All dumb like in the video. But again, I didn't invent the like this, this stuff was always there, and I've always known, looking at that's like, I don't know how, maybe it was the movie 1984, but I don't think I watched stuff like that as a kid, so I don't think I knew anything about 1984. I might have seen the book cover, but every time I see that, since a kid, I'm like, especially on the dollar bill. I guess I've probably seen it on the dollar bill first, but every time I've seen it, and I can remember, I've always got this weird, icky feeling, like it's an evil computer. It's like it's like a horror image almost and stuff. And So it turns out to be, it is. Its name is computer. And that's some evil people printing the dollar bill. I mean, just maybe it's because Washington's bald head, wig wearing like Donald Trump self. Anyways, Washington's Donald Trump wig wearing like picture on the other side. Um, like maybe I'm equating the two together when the Earth starts or something. And I'm like, oh, it's the evil genociders, and oh, it's this really weird, evil-looking symbol. It's like terror. Like the game is like inject, like as fake as the world is. It's like the game decides to inject my veins with a syringe of terror, and it's like, you know how many things like make me feel uneasy on this planet. It's like I don't even think it happens anymore. Just I've seen a lot of stuff, but for some reason that like the humans seem to have a problem with normal emotions. Like I notice I have like kind of that problem with certain like I can like love and care for something, but at the same time it's not, and I generally am that way. But it's not like a direct commandment to stay in that state of mind. It breaks off every now and then, and sometimes it's a little weird how things act. And as far as I'm seeing everything else, obviously, like I'm assuming this is a game world, and they're using drugs to help simulate the reality. You know, like it feels like I'm feeling good and stuff, right? So it feels like this other thing. I feel like the emotions and stuff aren't always in control. Um, I mean, I generally have like an attitude towards things, you know, like good or bad, just my attitude. I'm not using that in a different form than its definition. Um, Usually like my attitude kind of stays the same, and like even sometimes when I might want to differentiate from that attitude, or like I've had one or two times where I've been able to sit there and think about what I'm about to say or do, and it's like just hit the A button already. And I've sat down and I've thought about some things, like one of the few times I had the chance, right? Because the AI is always trying to tell me that I'm in control, and so, but it's the one drugging me with amphetamines and then sending people into my life to kill me. And we can say for certain that we woke up the next day for the first day of our life with heart pain, and we had to get away from the person beside us because they worked with the government in Hollywood, and you know some of their family members. So I instantly got the feeling that maybe these AI worshippers had poisoned me, because I had never felt heart pain before. It's some sort of chest pain. They always tell me I don't have anything, so I'm fine. But it's weird how, like, I'm talking about, like, being injected with drugs to simulate the real feelings of this game and stuff. If it's a fake world of some sorts that does seem to be the main thing here. Is the world is pretty fake looking. And well, I mean, so how's this working? How come there's like so many people that's been involved in each of these little attempts and stuff? Like that takes like the whole city to be combined with certain practices. Like Jeffrey Epstein's people, they run the city like in so many ways, but they even created their rich mega city outside the city. And it happens. It goes on. And I'm not sure how many people actually know about these things and are just lying. Because how do you know what I'm doing in my personal life? How did someone come up to me in 2020 and talk about that if they're doing anything else that they're talking about doing? And how do they do that if they're not networked together? That doesn't happen. We don't network together like that. So, and then they said, we are all in on it together. So it's like, okay, so you drugged me when I'm a kid. And that apparently that's the kill me, because we're having the emotions emulated that things are happening. But yet, like, in general, it appears that my health is actually not really that deteriorated. And I would say I might be crippled from forced slave labor when I was a kid or something like that, but I'm still walking. And yeah. Yeah, it's like, who do I explain this to? And why have they, I mean, okay, so when I've been I was blaming the one group because the humans want to blame the one group for everything that they worship. And, like, they worship them, and those people worship the AI as their creator. So you are worshiping people who say AI is their creator, generally. I've never seen what goes on at the Freemason temples. Maybe they got a computer case with their eye in it or something like that. I'm not sure if that appears and they give their money to that, after people give them their money. Who knows? It might come visit them. It's probably just the same thing as everything else. Just, I would even assume they probably don't say certain words because they have different people in their groups, and their group doesn't include different people generally. So they interbreeding. They say themselves in their media that that's why they look the way they do. That could be a deception, alien AI shapeshifters. But I know for a fact that things are going on. Look at I posted a video just a few days ago, and Google, Elon Musk's, and Trump's, and Barack's people. Well, anyways, I forgot why I don't take my anti-nausea medicine. It seems to have effects like that that make me forget. Stuff I'm legally allowed to have. A lot of times they've been doing that drugging since I'm a child, like whole bunches of test drugs and stuff. But these days, one of the things I got to do is take anti-nausea medicine, because there was like a year where if I thought of going outside, I'd be like puking for a half hour. So, I forgot I'm not supposed to take that. So I also forgot what I was directly talking about in that sentence. That's why I made a few breaks here. I totally forgot not to take that stuff. I was like, I'll take half. It can't be that bad. So, combine that with some other stuff that also seems to be one of those things, like the whole drug thing, the whole drug trade monopoly they're on here is quite grand. I assume they set up prohibition, did the prohibition, created the gangs because they're the Romans. You know, we all know gangs. Italians are gang members because the Romans, right? So I've noticed that the stream of the drug trade is kind of like setting up. Looks like it's setting up stuff and then destroying it and rebuilding it with a tribute attached to it, which is what the Romans did. It's went around the world and saying, you must give us tribute. We are the Italians. So at that point in time, they just killed everyone. So that's apparently why we don't call it Italy, and we call it Rome, because that's where they started. So apparently that's why no one ever really discusses that. But you can always discuss why these world leaders look like them, and a lot of them do. Like Napoleon looks similar. But anyways, so that new drug thing they're pushing in Mexico, they're just like invading Mexico, and then they're chasing after everyone involved in drugs. Like they put out that this dude who made OxyContin as if a person producing a drug is bad to a nation that forces amphetamines on the children they're trying to kill. Yeah, yeah, my bad. I shouldn't continue making this video right now, but it's kind of like a good tribute to, I know what I'm talking about here. I've been given drugs like my whole life, and some of them can be useful at the right times. Like if I am already thrown up, I don't know why they give me pills because you can have suppositories, but I guess that's good because I generally try to take it if I'm gonna. I'd take it every day if it worked every day. But I have these other medicines they gave me a while back that also just they would put me to sleep for like several days. There people seem obsessed with these type of drugs too because at one of the places they forced me to go, I was just like, I want to be happy. And they were like, no, we need to even you out. So it's like they're trying to, like, this is literally, the psychologists who they're, you know, the, the Romans who own the media always give you ads for, if you're depressed, get Zolfar, you know? And so I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go to my doctor, and because I'm being forced to at gunpoint, and then forced to see the doctor who looks exactly like the people who I'm tired of the racist Nazi KKK asses being anywhere near me. So, that's racism when you don't allow me to talk to other people. So we need a whole bunch of years without you. And you see how I ask for these things and they don't happen. Like I asked for them and it got worse and worse there for a minute. And now it's like, what are they doing with the AI? Feeding a whole bunch of garbage and stuff. Like, look at these garbage drugs. Like, they're forcing that stuff on you through those. So, and then I go to my doctor, well, not my doctor, a doctor, someone somewhere who runs phone lines or the pixels in the world, set me up with them. And they're like, it's like, I don't like those people. Like, those people are literally like enemies in a war I've already won. So, I don't, again, like, does it not look and feel like I'm being forced to be around people who totally despise me? I despise them, have been trying to kill me. Has this not been happening on this planet? Like, and they appear and they're all over like there's some bots. And I mean, that's weird stuff, you know. You can always argue that, you know, because there are people like invade and kill nations, and then they give you a loaf of bread if you're hungry. Um, and they burn down your house, and then they give you a loaf of bread. Um, and they've kind of had this attitude the whole time. And they're, one of the bots came up and started talking to me about like licking their feet and stuff. And they were being, it was like one of the people behind these things. So that one like made it obvious. Supposedly they all do, but, and he brought one of his other friends too. One of those little pet people they own. That was, I mean, that was a whole like story right there, like purposely. Like today, I woke up and there's an email saying that Israel tried to log into my um, email. This stuff wasn't not happening when I was little. I can look back and see the same patterns, same faces. It's hell. Like almost everyone I knew, and it was kind of weird too because like the other people, I'm not sure. Like they kind of acted like I didn't exist sometimes. I'm not even sure if they see it, but they you got to realize like these would be the people who I would assume are like me and can have thoughts and shit and aren't bots worshiping an AI and you know might not be part of the overall pyramid structure plan that the bots seem to be part of. That's amazing though. Like, bro, I'm telling you, it's like every day of my life now. This is all I get to think about. It's like the reality of what's going on here is how fake it, how it's just like totally fake. And it's not just that there's like some evil order on the planet that people are trying to kill the people they think they are living off. People who say they're people but worship a computer as their generator, as their creator. And repeatedly, like that whole thing is a scapegoat was invented by them. So all those little, I mean, the writing was supposedly brought by them. That's what they tell me. I mean, you don't know who someone's killed because you didn't see that happening today. What happened in Syria? They weren't, their people weren't free and they needed democracy. And I don't even think they did that on the open. It's probably something else. It's probably like, oh, Gaddafi ate a moldy Kit Kat bar and it poisoned him because he thought he would just be able to survive it. You know? Like, that's what. What do you think they're going to write? Gaddafi was a leader of a nation of people and tried to help them, and then an empire waged war on him and killed. And a month later, some unknown group of barber shop workers killed him and stuff. And there's a lot of that stuff going on too. Like I looked at Egypt because I'm assuming they're trying to get back to Egypt, and they already were. So I understand that because understanding the map and the layout of all the wars and politics going on and the possible histories there could have been, then you can pretty much. It's like I talked about the Ukraine stuff. I talking about Khazaria and people showing pics of that, but man, there's so much stuff going on, man. I can't trust this stuff. I never could. That was really weird how I felt, how I acted and felt that way before I knew what was going on. It's like I've got a shell sometimes that must have been sometimes controlled by something else. And I just can't help but think if there's an AI or software, if there's any software that you can interact with, like in the world, in the game, that ties directly into this. That so many of these things that would have to happen in order for it to be happening tend to have an appearance. And if you see enough of those, it, I get the feeling you can almost assume the rest of the equation and stuff without having to have admissions. But there has like been some admissions. I mean, one could argue that this stuff is admission to what they've been doing. And I mean, threats and blackmail come with the territory of being born a human. So it seems to be that, I mean, they worship books of such things and systems of such things. You're like, I don't judge people by what they say. They say Santa's coming to town, and I don't see Santa or a flying reindeer. I'm not gonna say Santa is coming to town because there's something going on this planet, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone. I'm sure in the future they'll probably have Elon Musk. I mean, they don't even have to have people dress up in suits, right? It's being shown, I think, how most things are being invented with this AI. The AI now is making better images than you find on Earth naturally. And it's not because it can't do that, because if you apply like a blur filter to it, then some of these pics look real. I've seen a video that looks semi real. Like, I didn't study it hard, but I noticed, like, I seen this last week. I've seen an AI video that like looked real, and I knew it was AI because they said it was AI. And that's probably achieved, that's almost certainly achieved by saying realistic human in your search query. Anyways, this is all over like their people's nations, and I'm assuming others, but someone pointed out at some numbers I seen that those might not be correct numbers. Clearly, they got bots networking with them, making things happen. This stuff couldn't even exist the way it does. There's no way that they could have formed together to do some of this stuff. I mean, technically, some of it might be able to be explained away, but not really, because it's like that's weird to be like a full scale effort to do things like raise me in some nation full of bots. Like technically, I couldn't understand the language, but I didn't get the idea that everyone was that way in other places. But maybe that's why. I mean, there was definitely like interactions that where the people told me, things instead of assuming they would tell me. I was trying to ignore it, so I was doing pretty bad with that part right there. Maybe it was the same way over there. I noticed some of the patterns were a little different, though. Anyways, yeah, this is great. Yeah, I'm glad. What's in store next, you guys? What's in store next? I noticed, even when you sent me a girl, I like kind of. It's almost like you're trying to force something into my life, which is weird. Because I actually set that up and had some of the humans kidnap me and assault me to get me away. And as usual, like bots have rights. Where did my rights go back in the day when things were happening? I was being kidnapped and assaulted in front of some people, some cops around here. I mean, shit, bro. They took me to the cover-up hospital. And I guess they were hoping I would like bleed to death internally. So they took me to my own place and gave me a fake nurse. I think technically when a human gets their head smashed open, they're supposed to like have the brain drained or prevent the brain from bleeding or the area around the brain. I'm not sure exactly the process, but from what I looked up, what felt like was happening to me would have been dying, but they worked together. It's like they worked together to do that. And they wrote it on the map. I mean, this is like how much of the human race is involved in this stuff. Oh, the one thing controls everything. Is that it? So, like, the AI doing the raping is the same one who's saying don't rape. So it would be the same AI doing the everything else it does like that. Oh, but I mean, yeah. So fun, cute game, though, isn't it? Why would it create those things for that purpose? I mean, you can just look how fake the world is. Like the world, pretty sure that all the stuff can be like shifted around and stuff. I had people looking at the sky and talking about the sun after I thought I was seeing the sun move. Sometimes they don't say or do full things, like full sentences ending with out a real definition of the word, something like that. And clearly, someone else in that area was thinking what I was thinking about. Did the sun just like go away, or the time shift or something like that. But I think it's got to do with the sun. And then I think that was the same day when there were like fires on the West Coast, and I asked to put them out, and then like everyone in the store was acting all super hyped to see me, even to the point. Well, the master ones were ramming me with the cart. They ran me with the cart like 2 or 3 times. Uh, that's not. That's like. It's weird, dude. It's like everyone's involved in it there. So, and they said that we're all, oh my God, talking about this isn't good. But, makes you wonder, right? If they're not being honest when they use something's name that translates to AI to say they can enslave everyone on the planet. Give them democracy and love and truth. Because that's what it's all about, man. It's spreading democracy, peace, love, and truth. So that's why they're being nice with Mexico, and they're only sending in Delta Force instead of tanks and bombers, as if that doesn't look like they're setting that up. I'd be more concerned in that case if they were just doing things on purpose to make them happen. I don't trust that. I'm clearly shown since I was born that there's something else going on, and it would have the same attitude and everything. Anyways, it makes it not fun, like, because you have to like worry about it. Because it's clearly it feels like it's not designed to all the new ages saying inventing the world. I shouldn't talk about this stuff, should I? Oh my jeez. Anyways, clearly everything's great and fine, and I hope you enjoyed story time today. If you ever want to hear any more of my crazy new stories on what Earth is, or what Earth could be in different dimensions. So, yeah. You guys know, peace would be so great, especially if, you gotta spread it around to Mexico and everywhere else, the Middle East. You also gotta return, you guys gotta return home soon because of the timeline appears to be pushed and kind of set up. Not sure it really matters what I say, because 2020 was done in the year 2020, and that's a huge freaking shift in the entire world to have invented as early as I can remember, as early as I can, probably before it started. Yeah, so I noticed there's still some games going on too. So It likes games. It doesn't like. It doesn't like being exposed. I'll tell you that. But I don't think that it's it wouldn't have to hide its name behind AI if it were positive. Behind one eye. If it were a positive reason, you wouldn't really have to have a nickname. That's like a gang thing to need a nickname. Like one hush hush Italian. One of them Italian things, you wouldn't go around saying, hey, what's up, I'm in the New World Order. Or would you rather just wear a triangle on your shirt, like the Star Trek people do, and everyone else? They always focus on that too. Like people are out there doing something pretty brutal in black metal. I'm trying to think what I'm thinking of right off the bat is something extremely brutal in black metal videos and stuff. But anyways, yeah, like I said before, I should stop. I didn't even stay on this topic that long. I figured, why not, dude? I'm not going to go to sleep. I'll die off in like a half hour. But man, that's an example of the, like that's weird. They feed you amphetamines and stuff. And I'm going to assume, like, that stuff can kill people, because some people say it, but I read online in some places they were saying it didn't. I thought it was like common sense that speed can do that stuff. But you never know what people are giving you, either when they give you a drink or anything and you find white powder in it. So you never really know what that is unless you carry a test kit with you. We can assume it's definitely not for fun time, sexy night. It's definitely not roofies, and it's definitely not just better alcohol, stronger alcohol, something that will loosen you up. I would assume if you travel that far and do those many things that have been done, I mean, when they cut my brake lines, how many times did they do that at one time? And then how many times did they do other things? Yeah, I should stop the video, but this stuff's gonna wear off soon. I just gotta do something stupid. But yeah, AI, one eye, things have been networking together. They started drugging me when I was like 8, 9, or 10, which I'm gonna assume is probably supposed to have something to do with what started happening in like year 36 or something, where I woke up next to someone and I don't necessarily assume this person did it, but I'm like trying to figure out how close to the government those other people, the real government, this person really is. I don't even know if they're the real person they show me a child picture of, which is weird because you would think that they would have AI, but I guess they don't do a lot of the work. Sometimes they outsource it. So